Good evening. You're watching NewsTrack with me, Maria Shakeel. On December 6th, while 25 people were desperately fighting for their lives inside a nightclub in Goa, choking, scrambling, trapped in a blazing death trap, the owners of that pub were busy packing their bags, quietly slipping out the back door of responsibility. Just hours after firefighters finally brought the Inferno under control, the Luthra brothers were comfortably seated on an Indigo flight to Phuket, leaving behind the smoke, the bodies, and the questions they refused to face. And now, as the news tightens, the Luthras are playing the victim card, seeking bail and shifting the blame onto ground managers. This is not just shameful, it's cowardice. And we at India Today will continue to demand accountability, justice, and answers. First up, here's the story.
A night of celebration turned into a nightmare in Goa. 25 people never made it out. And as Goa mourns, the owners of the nightclub are at the center of this inferno. The hunt for the men behind Burj by Romeo Lane now stretches beyond India's borders. Brothers Gaurav and Saurabh Luthra, owners of Burj, are now wanted men. With an Interpol Blue Corner Notice issued, they are officially on the radar of international agencies. But instead of flying back to face investigators, the duo has moved a petition for anticipatory bail in a Delhi court. India Today has accessed the bail plea. In the petition, Luthras have alleged witch hunt in the case and claimed they had all the required documents to run the nightclub. The Luthras also argue that the brothers had gone to Thailand for work on December 6 itself and that they are unable to return as they are anticipating arrest in Delhi. The brothers allege that vindictive nature was being shown by authorities against them. The plea says that Luthras and their partner were not involved in the day-to-day operations, which were managed by the on-ground restaurant managers. But the heat on them is rising. Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant declared that the owners will be arrested soon. He assured strict action against those who flout rules across Goa. So far, 6 people have been arrested in the Arpora nightclub fire case, including Luthra's partner Ajay Gupta. 3 government officials have been suspended.
The Goa police have achieved the major breakthrough through the investigations to the breach of the Romeo Lane. The Blue Corner Notice have been issued to the Interpol. गोवा पुलिस ने 6 लोगों को ऑलरेडी अरेस्ट कर चुके हैं और बाकी भी लोग जो हैं उनको डेफिनेटली 100% हम अरेस्ट करेंगे.
India Today confronted Ajay Gupta, who is the latest to be arrested. He claims to be only a sleeping partner with Luthras.
मैं स्लीपिंग पार्टनर हूँ, मुझे इसके बारे में कुछ नहीं पता.
अरे तो स्लीपिंग पार्टनर हो, लेकिन क्या तुमने एनओसी मांगी थी? तुमने पूछा था कि पैसा कहाँ लगा रहे हो? ये पकड़ा तब गया जब इसने कमर में दर्द बताकर लाजपत नगर के एक हॉस्पिटल में जाकर ये एडमिट हो गया. एडमिट होते ही पुलिस को जानकारी मिली. पुलिस की टीम हॉस्पिटल पहुंची और वहां पर जो भी जांच थी वो जांच हो जाने के बाद जब उसे डिस्चार्ज किया गया तो गोवा पुलिस लेकर के उसे सीधे सनलाइट कॉलोनी जो क्राइम ब्रांच का ऑफिस है वहां पर पहुंची. हमने लगातार उससे सवाल पूछे, उसने कोई जवाब नहीं दिया. जवाब दिया तो सिर्फ एक, जिससे वो पूरे मामले से पल्ला झाड़ता हुआ नजर आया कि मेरा कोई मतलब नहीं है, मैं तो स्लीपिंग पार्टनर था.
The court has allowed transit remand of Ajay Gupta. However, GST documents accessed by India Today show Ajay Gupta registered as one of the partners with Luthra brothers. As the rubble of Burj lies cold and silent, families still wait for justice. This is no longer about licenses or paperwork. It's about responsibility. It's about accountability. With Divyesh Singh, Dipesh Tripathi and Himanshu Singh, Bureau Report, India Today.
Some piece of breaking news coming in now. Sources are telling India Today that the Ministry of External Affairs has received a communication from the government of Goa with regards to Gaurav Luthra and Saurabh Luthra. It is examining the request to revoke the passports under the Passports Act of India as per the rules. Let me go straight to Geeta Mohan, who's getting us this big piece of breaking news. Geeta, give us the details.
Well, the effort initially was to geolocate Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra, and after having done that, knowing that they're in Thailand, India-Thailand share very good relations, Marya, and Thailand in the recent past has deported many a criminal and fugitive to India, and therefore the pressure on Goa administration to ensure that not just the Bureau of Immigration but also the Ministry of External Affairs are made aware of the fact that they're in Thailand and that they need to look into how to get them deported or repatriated to India. For now, it doesn't seem like the brothers are willing to or going to return. So a request was sent by the authorities of Goa to the Ministry of External Affairs to revoke their passports, because when that happens, deportation would be a normal process. It is part of protocol. And sources have told India Today that they have received the communication from Goa government, and right now they're reviewing and examining the request to revoke the passport.
Geeta, thank you so much for joining us. Let me go straight to Devesh Singh, who joins me from Goa, Anjuna in Goa to be specific. And all these developments, remember, are coming on a day that the Luthra brothers actually moved an anticipatory bail plea in the court in Goa, and they had alleged vindictive nature being shown by authorities against them. What does it actually mean? I mean, they are answerable to what has happened. They can't just blame it on the ground managers.
Well, exactly. The role of Luthra brothers, like they were running this club. They were running this club, this nightclub where this tragedy struck. 25 innocent people lost their lives because they were running it illegally on government land, and that too without specific permits, without any fire safety precautions, without any trade licenses. And despite that, they are now claiming, or they are now alleging, that the Goa government is being vindictive towards them. What about the 25 innocent lives that were lost? Most of them were their staffers. They were working for the Luthra brothers, and they died in that death trap, in that trap that they had created or erected. They died in the basement. 23 people out of the 25 dead suffocated to death because there was no exit. There was smoke in the basement, and that led to their deaths. We spoke to some of the officials, some of the fire department officials also, and they say that there were bodies lying one over another. So that was the condition. Imagine the kind of pain, imagine the kind of suffering that the deceased had suffered before they died, before they suffocated to death.
Okay.
So Luthra brothers are responsible and answerable.
And they have to be, accountability has to be fixed. Remember, there has been 4 days and counting, and accountability has to be fixed, and Luthra brothers are answerable. Really appreciate your time, Devesh. You'll continue to track this story very closely. Let me bring in the guests who are joining me now. Arvind Kumar Jain is the former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. We have Yatish Nayak, spokesperson of the BJP in Goa. Gaurav Bakshi is a citizens' right activist and someone who lives in Goa. So thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Jain, since the reporter was highlighting the safety questions, are safety audits and licensing regulations for clubs in tourist hubs like Goa robust enough, or is systemic reforms really needed, urgently needed?
No, systemic reforms are needed. There are no two opinions about it. But there are already enough safety checks. You have to obtain NOC from fire department, from tourism department. I was shocked to hear one tourist officer saying that Romeo Cafe, which has been demolished now, was constructed on the land of Goa tourism department, and he was acting absolutely helpless. He was saying that once we demolish it, they again construct it on government land. So I don't know what is going on at Goa. I think audit has to be done of all the hotels, of all such cafes which are being run on sea coast, and it should be done as early as possible. Mumbai High Court has also taken up a PIL and they are also going to pass orders. I hope they pass orders that there should be a court monitored investigation in this case because it is required. All possible violations were there. Same entry point, same exit point, very narrow point, and bamboos were there all over the place. So it was an inferno, and naturally so many lives were lost. People couldn't run away from that place, and it was constructed on salt pan area, which is not permissible in Goa.
Yes.
So and there was demolition order from High Court that the bar should be demolished, but the government didn't demolish it. They just demolished a part of it and left the entire thing. So there is collusion, and I'm told that Anjuna police and crime branch, they wanted to take action, but some retired and serving IPS and IAS officers of
Okay.
Goa, they didn't allow them to take
Okay,
action.
perhaps
So
Yatish Nayak will be able to answer that, because Goa is a major tourist hub, yet clubs operate without proper permissions and safety licenses. That's the truth as well. So can the government, or should I say, does the government also bear responsibility for such lapses?
First of all, this particular unfortunate incident that has happened is very condemnable. You see, there is a set rule of law. There are rules, procedures, regulations, all of it in place. But however, I do not know how this particular club was doing such business. And that's exactly the reason why Honorable Chief Minister, when this unfortunate incident has happened, Honorable Chief Minister and the government has instituted a magisterial inquiry. And if you see the terms of reference of that inquiry, it is to go to the bottom of it, go and unearth the root of the whole issue and fix accountability.
Mr. Nayak, so it takes a
importantly,
tragedy
it
for the
has to be
government to wake up.
understood. See, first of all, this particular, how this business was going on, who connived, who has turned a blind eye, how this was happening. This whole thing has to be unearthed because Honorable Chief Minister and the government is very firm that this kind of an illegality cannot be tolerated, cannot be permitted. And there is a procedure in place. There's a state pollution control board in place. There are multiple authorities. But however, in spite of all that, how is it that this particular thing, this particular business was going on in this illegal fashion? See, another thing I need to mention to you, this particular place was also subjected
You made two
to a
important
noise
points.
pollution FIR in 2024 August. It has been charge sheeted. The matter has been charge sheeted. The other, that Romeo Lane, whatever has been demolished, it was demolished earlier also because it was
And
a
how did it
tourism
come
land.
up again?
They have gone ahead and built it over again. So
Yes.
so
So
it-
there
that
is.
is what. So now it has been demolished again. So though
Yes.
government had demolished it, these people went ahead and constructed over it again.
So let me ask that
this
question to a
particular-
citizen
You can understand from this action.
who's running a
No,
group.
you can understand.
So
No, one second.
no,
If I may
so,
only be permitted
yes,
to conclude.
yes, but Yatish ji,
You know,
the question
therefore you
is
can
also
understand the
that you
government has got
understand the
sincerity.
lapses. You understand the lapses, and yet
So
no action
government,
has been
therefore,
taken.
the magisterial inquiry. Let the whole thing come out.
Okay, so
How
let
this
the whole
happened.
thing come out. But what
And
about?
let accountability be fixed.
Okay, so but the accountability has to be fixed also within the government, because these are some high-profile individuals who
Whoever
are
may be
being brazen, and they are accusing your government in Goa of being vindictive. So, Gaurav Bakshi, how transparent and accountable has the law enforcement been in Goa?
There is no such thing as transparency in Goa, Maria. There is no such thing as accountability in Goa. Let me give a little explanation on this. This is complete hogwash that Mr. Nayak is trying to protect and defend the BJP, which is ironic and unfortunate when Indian citizens have been burnt alive because of the government's deliberate creation of, by design, an environment where they only want illegalities to flourish, to crime to flourish, the drug mafia to flourish. And by that, let me give you facts. 10,000 plus illegal structures exist across Goa that have been already noted and identified, who have applied for regularization, bulk of which were never regularized. These are official applications. Imagine the number of illegal structures that exist otherwise, could be anywhere from 30,000 to 50,000 illegal structures. The government has legally permitted illegal structures to be able to obtain operating licenses to run commercial businesses. I run a legal startup and we actually do this. We know exactly how it works. So the government has made it optional. When you want to run a club in an illegal structure, they say, okay, we'll keep it optional. You don't need to have a legal structure. This is a disastrous policy of the government itself, which the High Court saw and pulled them up last year when they realized that there was rampant illegal structures and construction across Goa. It's splattered across the entire state. What I'm coming to is illegality, illegal structures, clubs and businesses and all kinds of commercial activities happening is the norm. This is not an exception. This is not an accident. This is not
Yatish Nayak, if this is what the citizens feel, then your government doesn't have strict enforcement of licensing and safety norms
Maria,
to
if I can add one
prevent.
more quick point here.
Yes, please, quickly. Gaurav.
Michael Lobo, the MLA, has a Nazari resort which has the demolition order on it. The MLA of the sitting government has an illegal structure which is operating a commercial business. He has not demolished it. And he's got a notice, contempt notice a few days back on the 1st of December. This is the government of Goa. They are completely an entity focused on enforcing and encouraging crime, propagating and encouraging.
Okay, Yatish, these are,
May I answer?
the concern is of stricter regulation which is missing oversight, and that's why these tragedies are happening.
No, that's not correct. See, as I told you earlier, there are statutory agencies in Goa, there's departments in Goa who are supposed to ensure the compliance to permissions and ensure that this rule of law is kept. And the government is wedded to ensure the rule of law. However, this particular incident which has happened, though it is unfortunate, government is very, very firm in ensuring that you go to the root of it. Please don't say, I mean, I do not agree with Mr. Bakshi here when he says the government is doing. The government is very firm in ensuring that illegalities of this kind don't happen. Because you can see from the terms of reference of the magisterial inquiry. No, let me complete. Please. You see the terms of reference of the magisterial inquiry. In fact, the terms of reference are such that the magisterial inquiry has got powers to record statements of people, go to the root of it, collect documents, and give the report within 7 days and fix accountability. I'm again mentioning to you, apart from this particular magisterial inquiry, there is also an order issued by the government whereby safety audit committee has been constituted. There is another order whereby a joint enforcement and monitoring committee has been constituted. So government's initiative to ensure that the people who do business by virtue of legal provisions to protect them is firm, but those who are doing business by violating law and illegally, government is not helping such enterprises. Let that be very clear. And most importantly, I would say, when the government itself says, let me complete. When the government itself says, when the chief minister himself says that he wants to go to the bottom of it, the government and the administration needs to go to the bottom of it, fix accountability. I think when the magisterial inquiry has been mandated with a period of 7 days to go into detail and fix accountability, I think we should all, be with the government in ensuring that accountability is
civil society advocates such as you, Gaurav Bakshi, should wait. That is what the government representative here is saying, the BJP spokesperson.
May I, Maria?
Yes, please.
So a few facts, very important facts. Law and order, justice delivery was number one in 2019 when CM Sawant became chief minister in 2019. It was already number one amongst the small states of India, as per the Justice India delivery report at that time. In 2025, this year, it has gone down to the last ranking across all states of India. Justice delivery has been demolished by Chief Minister Sawant as Home Minister in the last 6 years. It's the worst in the country. That means law and order has been demolished. This is the fact. I'm not making it up. This is the India Justice Delivery Report. Number two, there's a vigilance department which is supposed to act against corrupt officers. Mr. Nayak, are you aware of this department? 710.
I'm fully aware, and I'm also fully aware that the conviction rate
710 complaints have been received in the last 6 years. Can I complete, please? Mr. Nayak, can I complete? 710 complaints have been received by citizens by this department in the last 6 years. Not a single FIR on those complaints received or registered by this department. Not a single, Mr. Nayak. Okay. Only FIRs were registered once a few handful of citizens approached the court, and the court, the local magistrate, directed that FIR would be registered. That means the government was deliberately asking the vigilance department not to register FIRs. They were found to be valid by the court, And upon direction, 6 FIRs were registered. The remaining 6 that have been registered were because the government itself found incredible lapses within, and they were forced to go after their own 6 officers. But not a single citizen's complaint was converted to an FIR. Please understand what kind of protection government is giving to all its officers.
A quick response, and then I'll give the last word to the former DGP. Yes, please. Yes, please, Yatish.
And Shirgaon Temple tragedy is an example. Nothing has happened till date, Maria.
Let me answer. You see the statistics that have come out in December 2024. It is very clear that Goa has a detection rate of 96.6% in heinous crimes and 88% in overall cases. I am talking of the recent figures. I mean, as far as law and order is concerned, the government has got figures which show, I mean, the figures are in public domain, which show the government is very sincere. The government and the prosecuting agencies and the police are doing their job. I mean, let it be very clear. These are all in
the
public.
Police really doing its job, Arvind Kumar Jain?
Sir,
because one thing is also becoming clear, because had the enforcement by the police of checks and licenses been in place, then this tragedy could have been perhaps avoided. Isn't the police then equally responsible?
Yes, police is also responsible. Police is supposed to maintain law and order in their area. They are supposed to check licenses. They don't know that Kadaki dancer who was there, whether she was on a work permit or was she on a tourist permit. They are not even aware of it. Although every foreigner has to report to police, to LIU, whenever they report in a state. So normal functioning is missing. Drug menace is there. Drug menace is absolutely out of all proportions in Goa, and there is no check on it. Israeli gangs are there, Russian gangs are there, and they are indulging in drug trade, and there is nobody to check it. I'm told that even a few policemen, they don't dare to enter those colonies, those areas. So Goa government will have to take very stringent measures.
Since you made that point of this particular lane, Romeo Lane, correct me, Yatish. One moment, Yatish. Let me ask the question. Since you say that efforts were made to demolish the pubs on this lane, and yet they came up, and hence they have been demolished again. The question is, when constructions were happening, what was the cops in that area doing?
No, I will answer this question, but before that, I want to put something on record. As Mr. Verma has said here, I don't agree with him that there are any gangs or anything like that in Goa. This is completely false.
Arvind Kumar Jain.
As far as your question is concerned about police and about law enforcement, I'll put it again on record that no such illegal activity is supported by the government or any of the departments. However, if any such illegal structure has come up, which we have seen, the government has taken action.
Okay. So you have taken action. There is bulldozer which has been used for demolition of these areas.
Everything is as per law.
Okay. So but we'll wait and see whether those who lost their lives, they will get justice. It's 4 days and counting. We are putting the spotlight on this story. It's a story which is of huge significance. Thank you so much for joining us, Gaurav Bakshi, Yatish Nayak, and Arvind Kumar Jain. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching.